All right.
That just happened.
You know how
Why
like
was I forced to listen to that for 2 minutes?
for the whole thing of like making the tweet that comes out with the live a lot better, you have to like schedule it as a broadcast in Twitter and tweet from that broadcast thing. And it can only go out at a specific time if you want to do the thumbnail with it. So yeah, that's why. And but yeah, so it works. The good news is it works. So our tweets that go out with the like guests won't be like just the title. We can like make it like the whole thing. So that'll be good. All right.
Cool.
The anniversary episode. It's been a year, dude. I was looking back at those videos. Like some of them you couldn't even hear like you like half the time.
I know, dude.
And then the other
I
ones.
found that like a couple of weeks ago, right? There was one episode where like our voices, like our audio was just off by like a good 30 seconds.
Yeah. No,
So
that
like you
that
would
was
respond before I asked the question or something.
yeah. There was one where it was like I think it was like the very first one or the second one. You were literally just like I don't even know how I held a conversation. Like you couldn't hear anything you were saying half the time. But yeah, no, those were interesting episodes. The shit that I was talking about was so bad. Like it was just,
Like what?
oh, dude, there was one I should have put it in the highlight reel. There was you went on a whole like probably 4 minute rant on Cronus, this Cronus spy tweet being included
Oh
in
yeah.
Lynn's thing. Dude, it was so funny to watch back. It was so funny to watch back. But
Dude, I love when maybe this is like bad, maybe this is like unhealthy or like toxic, but I love so much being right about a project being a scam than I am about getting a trade right. This token is
yeah,
down 99.8%. And I
what is it,
think they were
Cronus?
exploited. Yeah.
Yeah, GG's.
Cronus, the whole GMD stuff, like I love doing that.
That
Even
was a
though it's
good
like
one. The GMG one was funny.
I think Saul is still MIA, or at least like on Twitter. I don't know if he's active on Discord or anything like that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that
what were
was
did you watch the first episode? I was gonna watch it, but I didn't get a chance to. I wanted to see what like predictions we made.
I kind of just like watched like the first few minutes of each episode, but quite honestly, the
Mm.
first episode was like almost unwatchable, like in terms of quality for me,
Because of what? Like
like
quality or
audio,
cringe?
like
Oh.
audio, and there was like a bit of cringe on my end, but
There's yeah, I mean
yeah, it was a interesting time. It's because we got
where
so
were we?
fucked, like we got so wrecked 2022. So we started 2023 because 2022 was actually very bad. And 23, like,
2022 is yeah.
yeah, like I think you'll forget, like it just was like all one time frame. But 22 itself was actually very bad. And 2023, like we
Yeah.
started the year and you could tell we were just like fucking exhausted.
Dude, it was yeah. We were just battered and beat in that first. That was like a month after FTX collapsed, or 2 months maybe. Um,
Yeah.
and everything that followed that, obviously. So like it was definitely like it was a pretty optimistic podcast, all things considered. I feel like I don't think like given how things were, I don't think that we were that like doom and gloom.
You know, we shifted towards like we then we just started doing like NFT stuff, which was fun. Like we would watch the Blur 15 minute like at the end of some episodes.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that. I remember that. That was fun. Do you
Uh,
think what do you think about NFT fi these days? You know, it's still gonna happen.
I mean, I use Arcade. I use Arcade
It's
pretty
true.
pretty recently. It is like pretty seamless, and I feel like once you get over that first hump of fear, like I could just lose this NFT to like some fucking unknown risk. which is like still can every time you do it, but like once you use it once and it works and everything's fine, I feel like it's a nice thing to use. I think arcade is like pretty solid.
I always had fun lending and borrowing against NFTs. It was like
You used to do it a lot.
I did used to do it a lot because I enjoyed it. Like I you could get it was like yield farming, but like it wasn't like it was easier, I think, and it was more fun because there were JPEGs involved. But once NFTs started to go down, like you didn't really want to be like you would get defaults all the time and you would be left holding like a shitty NFT. Whereas like when I first started doing it, if you caught a default, you were like happy. You got something at like a 20-30% discount. So like it just became too like risky. And like I guess it got harder too by that measure. It's probably a lot easier now. I mean, it's probably worth looking back into, but at the same time, like dude, those blur terms are insane. Like the fact that
Yeah.
you can and like that doesn't require that like that's not as fun as NFT Fire Arcade, at least using it. But like I'm still blown away by that. The fact that you can borrow against the Milady at like what is it like 90% LTV for like
Yeah.
3% and just leave it open in perpetuity.
Yeah, it's
Like
fucking
that's
wild.
insane.
Dude, I
If
was looking at
anyone,
the Abacus episode as well too.
oh man, RIP
Rest in
Abacus.
peace,
They didn't deserve
Abacus.
it. They didn't deserve
Yeah.
it, man. There were out of
That guy
all of
is
like
super
the
smart. I hope he's up to something like interesting.
I hope he is too. What was his name? Geo? Geo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Geo, if
Yeah.
you're watching this, I hope you're well, man. I hope you're still around. Cause I know he like took some time off and I don't know if he ever even came back. Cause that dude was definitely a genius.
Yeah. Yeah. He's very smart. Maybe
Shame.
pivoted into like AI or something. I hope not.
Yeah, it's a
All
shame.
right. We're
I
jumping
think
into
that
like a little bit of it already. But and
yeah.
this was gonna be my answer, but like we look back at 23, we'll let you'll have the Solana kind of moment a bit later. But just from like not best performing, but your favorite narrative in crypto during 2023. Most fun, performed well,
Favorite?
quantify it how
Uh
you want.
that's a good question.
Because you had a bunch. I mean, I'll list them off while you think. I mean, AI had a moment. There was a Gamblefy that had a moment. Uh,
Well, what's the are we just going off of most fun or like personal favorite like
personal favorite.
personal
Personal
favorite?
favorite. It's
I
very,
actually
very opinionated.
I found not the meme coin narrative itself, but all of the tools around meme coining. I found that to be very interesting and like fun to explore. Like you know that bot that I always send you, like the Jeet bot.
Yeah,
Um, like
yeah,
that's like hilarious, and it was also like super useful. Like I used Baboon tools for a while. Like there's obviously all the Telegram bots. I don't know. I found that because like it, I've always liked like analyzing on-chain data and like being in those weeds, but I like am not good at it. Like I can use the tools that I'm given, but I like can't do much on my own. Whereas like those tools allow you to break that barrier kind of. Like you can see like bubbles and like you can easily see like how top holders move and how like early holders have reacted and you know LP burns, all that fun stuff. I thought that was really cool because it like allowed it kind of like when I found
super on
something
chain.
like Baboon tools, yeah. When I found like really powerful ones like Baboon tools, or like when the snipers first started to come out, and I like used Banana for the first time, it like it made you feel powerful if like you didn't know how to do that stuff before. So I found that to be really fun. Um, Personal favorite.
Do you think anything solid? I mean, like they still exist. They're still around. I've seen Unibot like move to Solana. I saw a bunch of people went off like Banana recently. There's like a few others still being worked on. Do you not? I don't want to give like the cheesy like. Do you think it makes a comeback? But you like what kind of pieces of it do you feel like were the most useful? Maybe like technologically advance the industry,
Mm.
if anything.
Not in their current state. No, I think like long term, these tools go to zero. Um, I think that what will like take their place, because like I think this is like a common view now. I was kind of late to this thesis, but like I totally believe in it now. And maybe I don't know if this started with Ansem, but he was definitely someone who like popularized it. So I have to give him credit for once. That uh, basically like meme coins are, you can think of meme coins as like trading memes, but like when you connect it to any sort of like social media like TikTok or whatever, and you allow people to bet on the success or failure of different trends and different memes, like like there's very little reason to believe that that doesn't happen, um, at some significant scale. And that stuff isn't gonna like I have a hard time believing that we're gonna be doing that with like we as in crypto Twitter are gonna be like sniping and like doing all using all these tools and doing all that cool like mid curve shit to try and find the right stuff while like the TikTokers and the normies are just punting whatever. I think that I would like to think that they're like a level playing field or a more level playing field shows up at some point where like obviously you can never really take power away from the insiders, but like the whole sniping part of it and like being able to front run and stuff like that, I think that a platform where you can trade memes that doesn't have that in that has outside of like the initial team or like the insiders has like more level ground for everyone involved. um, and like that's just not you know, Unibot, Banana, Maestro, all that stuff. It's great for like what the meta is right now or what it has been, but I don't think it can continue to be that.
So the meme landscape in general becomes more like approachable in general because there were a few
Fair,
people at
yeah,
that
more
time,
equitable.
yeah, that like people that are completely out of the space that hear about a meme coin. It's like now they have to figure out what liquidity means. They buy sell tax. Like they have to figure out who the fucking insiders and cartel people are that are involved. It's like
Mhm.
there's so many layers. It's impossible for them to get kind of involved. But when you say like the playing field evens out, like any idea how that happens? Like how these kind of yeah, how that like plays out? Like I see your point where I do see that it kind of just ends up leveling out and becoming like easier for people to just pump meme coins without having to worry about like MEV
Mm.
slippage, all that kind of shit. Like, but how does that happen? It's like a different
Yeah,
ERC or like
it's a good question. I don't really know. I mean, in theory, it shouldn't happen. Like from a tech perspective, right? You can't really have a chain without MEV. Um, you can't really, I mean, you can't do a blockchain without having someone on the minute level who's able to reorder and front run transactions. Like, you know, you're not, no one's going to launch meme coins with like fair launch methods like LBPs or something like that.
so the
People
snipers
like that it just fucking
still
rips
last.
off launch. Yeah, I mean, it could. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe that like future is more likely just because like unless you create like a permissioned chain of some kind with like a whitelisted validator set of like some, and like that's not the solution anyone wants. You have to have too many permissions in place to do away with that stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe the tools in their current state are like more
So
similar
that
to
was
what
your
they'll look like.
favorite narrative of last year. Meme coin tooling
I
bots.
Maybe actually. I haven't thought
Yeah.
about it until you just asked me now. I mean, I I got into this one late as well, but like specifically the like agent systems AI stuff is really interesting. I still don't fully understand it, but um,
The talents,
I
all
think
that kind of stuff.
like not so well. Some I think some of the subnets on Tau do it. It's more like autonomous, where like you have you have like different you have like different agents basically, which are
Is
some
that
like set of software, some set of AI that has a goal in mind, a goal that's like set by its owner. And then you have like a controlled system where all of these agents work together to achieve some purpose or provide some service. Um, it's like super. It's one of those things that's like super general. It's like the framework for a framework, so it's kind of hard to like contextualize.
so like
Um,
a way for if you wanted an AI agent to snipe meme coins for you, basically.
yeah, yeah. I guess you could do that. You could have like, and yeah, the whole idea is that you have a system where there are multiple agents or there are multiple like AIs with different interests that are competing, but like they're competing with each other, but the whole of the system makes up the service in most cases. So like, it's a good example. I don't know. Maybe if you had like, let's say you have like some number, like five different agents who all have like a different natural language model that's like trained to specifically understand one type of speech versus another. And to you use that to like scrape Twitter, scrape different social medias. Maybe one's trained for TikTok and one's trained for Twitter. And you use them to come up with like scores for different meme coins on any given day. Um, that's like I think that's how something like that would work.
Yeah, it's nice.
Um,
I'd say I'd say my favorite, like around 23, was probably like the NFTs. Just like trading in general,
really?
not the NFT fi. It's because I hated it so much. I remember I would get
Well,
so
we
angry with how left curve it was, and I was like trying to value them from like a mid curve perspective, and then there would be just like stupid shit that would like make me decent money, and I'm like, okay, like I'm
was that
forgetting like
2023?
yeah, 15-minute blur. Like what was
Really?
the one? Um,
Oh
Anon.
yeah, it was. It was like
Yeah,
the abstraction and the harvest and like
abstraction
the feet
commies.
picks.
I remember I made like
Yeah,
2 ETH off commies for no fucking reason.
Kami. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember those things. And there was like those little the fucking little like fish or like
feet.
frog things that you
Do you
really
remember
liked that did
Pix?
nothing. The
Yeah, yeah.
what?
Fabric. That was Fabric. Do you remember Feet Pix?
Yeah, I remember feet
Yeah.
picks.
It was just so left
Yeah,
curve, and I
NFTs
remember I
were fun. That's
started
a good one.
yeah, I started, like, approaching it more of like, "Fuck it." Like, if this shit is running up on the 15-minute, I'm just gonna buy it. I'm not gonna figure out whether or not Feet Picks are valuable.
Yeah,
I think that's, like, helped me a lot. Uh,
yeah, that was
well,
fun.
the and if you look at it from like performance, it's clear that Solana has won the year basically 2023. Um, this is where you can kind of give your thesis from last year, and maybe it can help people. You can have your like winners circle moment, but just maybe like frame it in a way where you can look back on how you were thinking about it and how it could apply to like the future. Maybe talk about your conviction a
Mm.
little bit.
Yeah. So, um, I guess like the only thing that's changed about my conviction, and I wouldn't even use the word conviction really because it wasn't that strong. But the only thing that's changed over the past like 6 months or since Solana started pumping is that I've gotten more not more bearish on ETH. I think just more realistic about it, and that naturally, if naturally that like denotes that you will become more bullish on Solana. So I think that's kind of what happened. And I don't like. I was never really like.
But take us
I was
back. Take us back
interested in Solana.
when you pressed that buy, when you were pressing that buy button. Because I remember you like the Mad Labs was a big purchase. I feel like.
Yeah, it was a big purchase at the time.
And then you were DCAing. I think I remember at the time, and I was dunking on you for DCAing into Sol. How
I was. So I got lucky because I was interested in Solana well before like all the SVF stuff. Like I first bought in like 2021. I first started using DeFi on Solana before I did Ethereum. So I just had like a sweet spot for it. I think it's less about like it was less about me betting on a comeback, and it was more just the fact that like people were so quick to write it off. Like it was a new chain. Like Solana has been live for what, like 4 years? At the time it was 3. A new chain, like a very vocal community, and like novel applications being built on the chain. So like DePIN stuff, on-chain order books. That's like it, really. Like, and that's enough because remember, like there's not anything interesting being built anywhere else. You can't name one example of something interesting being built in public, at least on like most L2s. And like that's enough to not count it out, I think. Like people are just so impatient, and they were like despite all of the good progress that's been made because of this big collapse with Sam, who like yes, he had a significant hand like in the ecosystem at the time. Despite that, like most of that stuff was flushed out, and there was still a lot of genuine activity going on, as you can see now by all the different projects that are getting attention. There was just no reason to write it off that early. And like some people might say like, oh well, how does that make it different from like Cardano or like Phantom or I don't know,
that was my
some other question. Scalable, some other like scalable L1. And it's a good question.
Is it the SVM? Because like, is it that makes it cool? Just because it's like a different VM? Like,
to me, the easy answer, which most people won't like, is it's the community, but it's true. But I know you don't like that answer, so I'll ignore that. Like, dude, if you use Solana, it is orders of magnitude more usable and faster than any other alt L1, except for maybe the move chains now. The move chains haven't really been tested. So like that in and of itself makes it a very, very attractive consumer.
You've never used Avalanche. You've never used Phantom. Like I used to use.
I know Avalanche is not. I've used Phantom. I've used Phantom.
Fast.
I haven't used Avalanche.
They're fast.
They're not fast. They're not as fast as Solana.
Dude, the mind doesn't comprehend.
They're not as fast or as cheap.
What is Solana? Like Solana's 0.4 milliseconds or something like that. What?
It's inconsequential.
Like it's 7.8. Like the mind can't
really
decipher.
Phantom has slowed down on situations before, in the same way that Solana has. Another big difference was that everybody was citing outages, right? All year. Even during the pump, people were like, oh, it's going to go down eventually, and then the price is going to come back down. But like it takes literally, dude, the thing is I think anyone can spend an hour, or anyone could have spent an hour to look into Solana, and maybe you wouldn't come away bullish, but you would come to the conclusion that it shouldn't be written off yet, which is all like, that's like all it takes, that's all it took, at least for me. What was I saying before that?
I want to ask you this. And wait, let's. I forget. I feel like we had to say this since this is like going to be a predictions episode. Like this is not financial advice. Nothing on this podcast is financial advice ever. Any episode before or after this statement, I'm going to record something to put at the beginning. But yeah. I want to talk more about like fuck the price. It pumped. They did a great job. 23. There's cool stuff being um, built on there, but I wanted to ask you this. I think one of my things about Solana is I don't know if Anatoly is autistic enough to really be the leader of a chain. Like I feel like Vitalik
Dude, he's
is
so level-headed.
yeah, like
Like it's
Anatoly is
almost
just
bearish how like
yeah,
charitable he is.
yeah, it's just too normal, I feel like he needs to be more like of a like not like a wild card like a Doquan, but like a I don't know. I don't know. That's one of my qualms with Solana. I feel like I'm sitting in the meme spot right now where the price went up, so the tech got better in my head. But I've just kind of like been like, okay, the apps are cool. I'm gonna start using the apps now. Haven't really done any like accumulating of the token Solana itself. I don't really know what to do. It's
What do
like
you
now I'm thinking of like, okay, I'm gonna if if a community is all you need, a community fast chain and like 4 reply guys on Twitter and one KOL to to go crazy as an ecosystem, like well that's unfair. They are building cool projects on there. I will say you're right about that. That is probably the major aspect that I got wrong. I was always under the impression that no one was building anything on Solana because TVL was down and like not moving. And I was like, if there was anything cool, then TVL would have went there. Um, I think that's probably the biggest spot where I kind of like shot myself in the foot. So I think
I
if I
think
look back on it,
something that something that
finding
no one really saw coming was also the fact that like Solana now, or at least like the past couple months, has been rivaling Ethereum in a lot of different metrics or outright beating it, and there hasn't been a single instance of downtime or outages like that. Like no, you couldn't have seen that coming, obviously, but now that it's happened, that's enough reason to be like shit. Like this is
I don't
something.
see it. I still don't see it. I think it's just different. I think it's just different. I don't think it competes with Ethereum like pretty much at
I
all.
don't think it does either. I
I
don't
think
like.
it's two different things.
Yeah, I
Because
think you. It
every
sucks
gain,
because
every major gain that you make on Solana yourself, you bridge over to Ethereum so that you can sleep well
no,
at
that's
night.
not true. Not for me, at
Yes, it
least.
is. Yes, it is.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Most of my Jito airdrop is still sitting on Solana. I think that I like the thing is you can't talk about Solana without comparing it back to Ethereum. No one will indulge that conversation unless you're comparing it back to Ethereum, which like, and I talk that way because it's easier and because it like opens the dialogue and because it's not possible to do so otherwise. And I don't like that. Like they should like they can coexist. They can Solana can be the deep in AI like meme coin chain, while Ethereum has the payments L3, the perp dexes, all the liquidity. Like that's like a near term future that makes sense. Like who knows how much they're going to diverge in the long term. But the problem is like Solana faces scalability problems a little bit. Like maybe they did like the Pyth airdrop and they had some problems then. So you go and say like this is clearly not ready for like scalable payments infrastructure. And then Mert replies and he goes, oh, but it's orders of magnitude better than Ethereum. It's like that shouldn't be the benchmark. The benchmark should be like actual products, right? Like, why are
Yeah.
we comparing back to something that charges $100 when more than 5 people decide they want to make a swap?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I think that's where I got stuck as well. Kind of like if it's not going to be beating Ethereum and the things that I want it to be better at Ethereum, like to beat Ethereum at, then it's just not worth anything. And I think that's where the mistakes were made. We got a lot to get through, and we're halfway through. Favorite meme from 2023.
Dude, I really
I'll
liked. You go
go
first.
ahead. Oh, I didn't have anything. I thought you were gonna take a minute, so I
Oh,
was
you don't
gonna
have anything.
riff.
Oh, I don't have that much to. I mean, I don't have that much to get into, but I can tell you my favorite meme, which I actually don't even know how it's doing now. I was really early to this one, and I
Not
sold
meme
too
coin.
early. Oh,
Just
oh.
I mean, it can be a meme coin, but like just like
Okay, well,
general
no, then
meme,
that's
as
then
in
that's a
like
different answer.
like a moment, like
Mine's probably yesterday.
a memeable moment. Oh yeah, but that's
Mine's definitely
24. That's
yesterday.
24.
Oh,
You can't
yeah,
use
you're
that.
right. Yeah, yeah,
You can't
yeah.
use that.
Um, Probably. Oh man, I thought that. Mm, I don't have one that sticks out to me, but when I like some that come to mind is like when Azuki spent months hyping up a new drop and it ended up being an exact copy of their original one and everything fucking nuked. Um, Points is a like that's a pretty funny meme. I think it's better now. It's less funny now because we're actually getting the tokens. But like 3 months ago, we had so many ongoing points programs and no tokens. Um,
Yeah.
Man, what has happened this past year? I need to go and watch. I need to go and watch interns like meme the. Didn't he post something that was like
Yeah, like a
the years like best
2023
memes,
review.
crypto year in review?
I'd say like one of the funniest for me was, well, I think that one of the best moments that are like meme moments, I guess, was the Elon like Milady post. I thought that was pretty cool. It's like very, I feel like you got to be deep in to the ecosystem to find a Milady meme. And yeah, I thought that was solid for like the ecosystem as a whole.
Mm.
Um, it was funny when like Do Kwon got arrested and they found like a ledger or something up his ass. That was pretty
That
funny.
that's that wasn't true. There's no
That
way.
was I'm pretty sure it was true.
How did you look up there? How did you know?
Shut the fuck up.
There's no way. That's too comical.
Why is
Like
there no
that's
way?
I know this is a joke
What
in the
would you do
industry,
if you
but
were
like
on the
that's
run? If you were on the run, I mean, maybe
I
you
wouldn't
just
end up
remember
in a
your
situation where I
secret.
would need to keep a ledger in my butt to begin with. I would simply not start a multi-billion dollar Ponzi to begin with.
Good
That's what I
point.
would do.
But whether or not that was
No, but I
true,
don't think that's true.
I
It is
I
funny.
think that was funny. Um,
Yeah.
and just ETH as an asset was just a hilarious meme throughout the year. I'd say.
Dude, I'm so happy with the way that ETH has performed. I can't even lie. Because like maybe it's because I've been on Solana, or because I like had some big wins there, but I've accumulated so much more ETH while it's still cheap, you know? Like
Yeah,
versus if ETH had been catching up and had been at like 3,000 by now, 3,500 by now, like I would probably be like taking more profits and I would have been more sidelined throughout this whole thing. But because it's still down, I just go and buy ETH when I want to take profits instead.
yeah. Least favorite narrative from the 23 cycle. Kind of the
RWA.
one that you're glad is dead or
It's
is
not dead
maybe
yet,
going
but
to die.
RWA.
RWA,
It's
really?
not gonna
What do you
die.
include in RWA?
Yeah.
Some people include stable coins, cross border payments.
Specifically putting like real estate and luxury goods on chain. Um, I don't hate the T-bill stuff, but I don't think it's like I just it
You hate the
doesn't interest
Rolex
me.
stuff?
I I don't hate it. I just think it's dumb. Like like hmm. Like people not long ago, or I mean by now it was a while ago. People were posting like threads and videos about how like you can put your Rolex on chain and then take out a loan against it trustlessly, as if like it's not being held in escrow by someone. Like it doesn't really. It just seems like such an unnecessary component to add like a blockchain into that. This was one thing that I did see from our 2023 or from our episode a year ago. Our first episode was that you asked about RWAs as a narrative for the year, and I said no. I said like it's not ready. I don't think it's ready yet. And obviously, like
That
Maker
was in the
has been
first
doing some really
episode.
cool stuff. Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. That was when I first learned like what Maker was doing because you mentioned it. Like they're doing cool stuff. Like I think Ondo backed um, that stuff is like going to be really big and bringing institutions on chain. But for me, like I don't really care.
Would you
No,
KYC for
that's not
an
why I'm here.
would you KYC for a RWA L3 on Arbitrum or on any other chain?
No, what would I get out of KYCing? I would get to use it. I would get to.
Points, baby, points.
Oh
You
yeah,
get
that's
points.
true. Yeah, I have. I would
Would you
hope that by then
KYC
we
for
have
any
ZK
points?
KYC. I would ZK KYC. I have
Yeah, but they're gonna
ZK
call it.
KYC for the Linea quest.
Did you really?
Yeah, that's maybe it's naive because I don't know how it actually works, but in theory, like it should not reveal anything about like me. It should just show that I meet the requirements, which if that works, I'll do that anywhere pretty much if it's needed.
Yeah, my least favorite narrative. I still hate this BRC Bitcoin ecosystem one. And the thing is, I mean, as listeners who've been following along throughout the year know, if I hate something, you should probably like long it or like get exposure to it. But I really just don't like this shit. Like, I think it's like, yeah, I mean, I think it's good for Bitcoin, but I just hate it in general.
I don't think
I
we've
hate
ever
that the
talked about
NFTs are
BRC.
denominated in Bitcoin. I hate that like there's a million acronyms for every single like new form of the same token they create. I guess you can make the same complaints about like the ETH ecosystem. And part of it is probably I'm just too lazy to like figure out what the fuck is going on over there. But yeah, I'm just not a big fan in general.
And in 5 years, on what chain do you think the most expensive NFT will exist on?
In five,
Yeah,
most expensive or like collection or one of one?
collection or like most expensive slash like most well known. It's usually the same thing.
Whatever new L1 drops in 5 years. A bunch
Really?
of
You
airdrops and
think
tied to the major NFT on there,
you
probably.
don't think it's going to be? I mean, what makes you think it's not
No,
going to be
I
on
think
ETH?
no, I think it'll be on ETH. I think it'll be on
I think
ETH.
it'll be on Bitcoin. I think
Really?
NFTs make more sense on Bitcoin than NFTs as collectibles make more sense, make way more sense actually on Bitcoin than they do on Ethereum.
No, I disagree. Um,
People trust Bitcoin so much more. Normal people trust Bitcoin. Normal people don't trust Ethereum.
yeah,
And like
I see what you mean.
if you want to have something that has like personal value to you that you like something like an NFT, which like you take pride in owning, you can feel secure about having it. Like I don't know. I just feel like it's so obvious that it will be on Bitcoin at some point, and I should probably be like acting in favor of that because I've never done anything on Bitcoin, like literally never. I've not even like used the regular like send and receive Bitcoin on there, but I don't know. It just seems obvious to me.
Yeah, I see the point, but yeah, no. I think I think it's more because NFTs kind of originated on Ethereum in a way.
Mm,
I think yeah, I think it stays here. I think it stays on ETH for foreseeable future.
it's
Honestly,
more
within
likely it's
five
on
years,
Solana than on ETH.
I could still see it being punks. To be honest,
Yeah, yeah. I mean that's fair. I think.
uh, the Any like last comments on self reflection for 2023 performance? Good
Um,
or bad?
oof, I don't know. I feel like like it kind of sucks because when you look at like a year ago, Bitcoin was at 16K and like nobody wanted to be on risk in any type of way. When in reality, like that was by far the best time to be taking to be taking like medium term, longer term bets. There's stuff that has like Injective is up like 30x from that dude. That's like an L1. They have like a some $1 billion valuation. Like it's it sucks now because like we don't have that luxury anymore and like it's obvious now and that's obviously why they're more expensive. But I think like the general like one thing that like I've learned and that like I need to do better next year is like don't hesitate to like look into stuff because it takes what 5 minutes to figure out what something is. Um, like someone sends you a ticker or Twitter page or whatever. It doesn't take that long to get like a super basic like high level view of what it is. And like if you had because I don't know when you get to a certain point in the space, everything comes across your desk at some point. Usually when it's still early, it's just there's reasons to not get into it. But like, you know, going back over the past year, there were so many things that I saw early that I just didn't look into because like I didn't make the time for it. And if I had done that, or like I think most people do
You
this
think
too,
if
if
you
you had
saw
done that,
Injective, you think if you saw Injective early and actually did like the research into it, you would have made the call
no, not
or would have made the
injective,
trade?
not injective, but if I had looked into Mad Lads more, I would have gotten a lot more Mad Lads. If I had looked into um if I had looked into dude, if I had looked into tensorians, I would have bought as many of those things as I could have. Though that was such an obvious move in hindsight. All I knew about Tensor was that it was a platform I really liked and that they're doing an airdrop points program. And I knew they had an NFT collection. I had no idea that they would provide so many
What else?
benefits and like airdrops and partnerships, but it was all right there.
Yeah, I don't know if there would have been
That one
anything
was
that would have
very
changed your
obvious.
mind on that.
On Tensor?
Yeah, I mean, knowing that you had the thesis on Mad Lads being like a collection that receives a bunch of airdrops. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
I
could
guess
have
if
had
you
it
did
on
have the
Tensor.
Mad Lads one, you would have had the Tensor one too. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the thing is I didn't like I knew all I knew was that there's an NFT collection called the Tensorians. I didn't know that only holders can generate ref links. I didn't know that they get a portion of all the volume generated as points every day. Um, and like, you know, the airdrop thing wasn't a pretty like you didn't have to make a leap of faith to get there. Like it was kind of a given. And those NFTs were also pretty widely used and like on CT on Solana back then too. I just, you know, I just didn't bother really. Once I found that stuff out, it was when they were already at like 120 floor, and I was like, "Fuck! Like this is so like why?" I all I needed to do was click on this page, and I would have known. But
Yeah,
yeah. So I guess just do more, really. Like take the time.
yeah, I'd say same thing. I think making like a high level evaluation on the majority of things will be beneficial. Like the more you do it, um, but I also think like I guess I need to have like I want to build like better conviction um, in the trades that I decide to make, and then yeah, I mean not get too deep into like any cults. I feel like I put off a bunch of other ecosystems uh, by being deep in the ETH cult. I mean, yeah, that was pretty much major mistakes. And I'd say just for what has worked in 23 is just stay on the left curve. Just stay on the left curve. Don't even. I mean, like in a majority of situations, just stay on the left curve. Is my lessons from 23. Like dabble in the
That's
right
crazy.
curve, but avoid the mid curve like the plague. What's crazy?
You know, it's our first episode was on January 4th. Bitcoin was trading at 16.5K. Today
Sweet
it's
as
at
fuck.
46K. And like our first podcast basically marked the bottom. And our 1 year anniversary is on the day that the ETF is probably going to get approved.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. All right, 2024. We don't have much time left. Can you run over, or do you have a hard stop?
Yeah, I can run over. I'm just hungry.
Okay. So you're gonna have to start. The best performing asset of 24. There's probably going to be a meme coin that outdoes everything throughout this year. But those aside,
yeah, I know, but
like best, maybe like entire ecosystem. You can frame this question however you want. But like best performing thing in crypto. You can basically break it down to like one ticker. You can do one ecosystem. You could do one narrative. You could do one whatever. But best performing, and again,
ladies,
nothing is financial advice. Nothing in this show is financial advice. Okay, go. You said miladies?
I said that as a joke, but like also not as a joke because, well, I mean, they're bound to come back at some point, right? Like it's miladies. You can't.
Maybe we pick one from each narrative itself. So you pick one like NFT, one
Okay.
Alt L1,
Yeah.
one Perp Stacks.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Start
NFT's
from
definitely
wherever.
a milady. NFT could be just like one of the top in general too, or miladies could be one of the top in general too, because they're denominated in ETH, and ETH is going to go to 8K or whatever. So milady could be
No.
worth six
That
figures at
aside,
one point.
like
It's
I don't know
return
how
on US dollars. I mean,
yeah, that's fair. I mean, I guess it plays into the narrative, whatever chain it's on.
yeah, whatever.
So miladies NFT. I want to go.
Alt
I'm going to
L1.
go off a limb. Wait, let me do NFT. For NFT, I'm going to go on a limb. That probably shouldn't. I don't have one, but I do want to say the bad kids. I think there's going to be an infinite supply of like Cosmos stuff going on this year. I think they're all going to be mediocre. I think they're all going to slightly be like very shit. But I don't love the Cosmos ecosystem. But I do think there is going to be like a lot of Cosmos chains that are going to be like airdropping this year.
The thing is that bad kids are like, they were around, and within the Cosmos bubble, they were just as big as they are now. Like they're just now getting more recognition outside of that. And they, they didn't get. There was like a Cosmos airdrops moment last cycle, but it was mostly for stakers, and there was like not many. There was like 3 good ones maybe. I also, this is like tangentially related, but I think the airdrop stuff is starting to reach peak euphoria. I think people are expecting too much from that. I think that most of like, if you haven't already started for a lot of the stuff, then like it might be too late. I don't know what to tell you. Or it's just not worth. It's not that it's too late. It's just probably not worth your time. Airdrops are going to start to get diluted more. Sybil filtering is going to be a bitch. Yeah, I just don't think that hype can keep up. Like people can't just keep giving away all this money. They will obviously at first, and like the people like me who have been farming for the past year are gonna win because of it. But like, don't go and setting up a whole airdrop farming operation right now because you're probably going to lose money on it, or you won't make that much, I think. But yeah, that's an interesting one. I'm surprised to hear you say Bad Kids. That definitely. I just listed one of mine actually. I don't think it's sold yet, but I listed it pretty high. I listed it pretty like 30% above the floor or something like that.
Yeah, no, I think those will cook. And I think other ecosystems, like I do think there's a world where if you're a wormhole, if you're a layer zero, like maybe you those are who you airdrop to.
Mm,
Those are the people in that
that would be
ecosystem that
cool.
you airdrop to.
Mm. And there's a Celestia airdrops too. Could easily go. I think I got Celestia for my having my bad kids. I don't remember. I definitely got Dimension. Um, but yeah.
All
What was
right,
the next one? Alt L1s.
alt L1s, or you can just go with L1 ETH or
I mean, uh, what is Monad worth right now within this hypothetical scenario? Because like that's a pretty like Monad ceiling right now, which is not like a ridiculous
just
like it's a
it's say.
it's let's say we're pretending it's like equal to say right now.
Yeah.
Okay, then Monad.
What's say
Because
valuation?
Monad uh market cap is under a billion.
Okay.
FTV. Oh wait, no, it's 1.5 billion now. FTV is just under 7. Um, I think Monad is the only alt L1 that has a 2021 Solana ceiling, which means 100 mil FTV, or sorry, 100 bill FTV. Um, like rampant activity in whatever niche takes off there. In Solana, it was NFTs and some DeFi, whatever it ends up being for Monad. I think that's their ceiling, and it's not out of the realm of possibility. I think it's out of the realm of possibility for like Say or Aptos or Sui, at least in this cycle. I think it is. Whereas Monad could get there.
That's a good one. I'll go Barachain. I'll go
Mm.
Barachain. I think Barachain's gonna perform well. I do kind of want to say like I want to give these like Sui Aptos, all those. I do want to give those like a deeper look. I feel like I haven't given them a fair chance, but I will say Barachain. I think
What's
I
funny is
think
you
they
said
could do
that
a lot
last
of.
year too.
Did I really?
And in the first episode, you said that
Dude,
Barry
I
Chain. You were
said it.
like, I remember you were like, I just have a feeling like it's gonna do good, and we're a year later and they haven't launched yet.
I mean the BitBear trade was solid. I haven't finished it yet,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
but no, I do think. I mean, I'm gonna say this right now. If anyone from that ecosystem is listening, if Bearchain doesn't launch this year, like I'm gonna like find Smokey and like demask him in the public. Like if it doesn't launch this year, I'm gonna be pretty pissed. Um, there's no way they can just keep doing this. Beyond that, like
Yeah,
they've gotten their
I mean,
pie eaten like from all angles, basically. Like they were the basically biggest or like most loud community before
they're
Monad was.
definitely the biggest unlaunched chain. Yeah, for a
Yeah,
while at least.
they
Now they're
lost that
not. They're not even that,
memeability
and they
wise
haven't launched. Yeah, I don't have a super strong opinion on Bear Chain because,
because
um,
you sold your bear.
like, well, I'm gonna buy back in for lower and for a higher for I'm gonna get a Ban Bear or Baby Bear instead probably, but um like the two things that you and I can look at is like ecosystem and community, right? Um, ecosystem, there's not a ton to glean off of for Berachain, but community obviously is super strong. I just think like it's it's wavered since the beginning of the year. It's still there, but like it's not as compelling as it was before, especially now that Monad is in the picture. And now that Celestia is launched as well, and there's like more modularity coming into the picture. I hope they do well because I know they have like a heavy DeFi emphasis, and I would really like to see some like novel DeFi projects with that tri token model. Um, but you know, um, that's yet to be seen.
What would you consider Eigenlayer as?
Eigenlayer is infrastructure. I would say Eigenlayer falls into the same category as like, well, it's in its own category, I think, if you want to nitpick. But if you have to put it into some bucket, I would say it goes into the category of like flashbots, and uh, I guess L2s could fall into that category too. But then L2s have their own bubble.
I just realized that they're gonna start giving like they're gonna change up the way Cosmos or Cosmos layer, basically like Tendermint chains, like create security. Apparently, it's usually been just like get to a certain amount of token value and market cap so that your people staking your token can create some like security on it. Oh, I forgot I have a fucking hard stop. Shit. I asked you and didn't even check my own shit. Okay. Speed run for the next like 60 seconds. What else did we have? L1. Just assets you want to throw out in general. Just shoot from the hip. But we're gonna have to watch this back in a year.
I'm still a Pendle bull a year later.
Still dependable. Okay.
I still think that will be one of the top DeFi projects. Um, Perp dexes. One of the perp dex picks.
Yeah, best perp dex. You're the
I know,
perp
dude.
dex like champion.
Yeah, but I just don't know anything about that space, dude. There's so much. I like, how like once you learn enough about a topic, you realize like how little you know, and then eventually you start to build that back up. I haven't crossed that chasm yet. Like I've gotten to the point where I know nothing, but I haven't like rebuilt after that. So like I'm just in this state of like decision paralysis. Like DYDX has always been the obvious answer, maybe. Um,
I'm gonna say Rabbitex.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Just because I need to believe in the bunny.
I don't think options happens this year. I'm gonna put that out there.
Dude, I've been in this game for a while and I still could care less about options.
Yeah, I know. It's a shame because I like options. They're fun.
Perps are more
I
fun.
enjoy using them.
Options will never be as fun.
It depends. It depends on who you are. It depends on what kind of mood you're in. Sometimes I'll trade options just because I feel like it. Like
Anything you want to see die in 2023? Anything you want to see left behind?
immaturity and scamming. Vaporware, the obvious answers, I feel like. Anyone who's not honestly trying to build something like of value.
I'd say the meta of still creating forks even when there's 3 other forks. I think we should like just create like a social layer of like caps. Like socially as a community, once we see like a third fork with only like minor tweaks, we should just like kill whoever tries to make a fourth one. I also think Maverick is going to be great. I think if it's easy enough for me to use and understand, levels the playing field for LPs. I think they're going to be great. I think they're going to be a great project. I can see the asset outperforming pretty well. I think people are going to build some like cool shit on top of it. I don't know if I like their tokenomics yet, so we'll see.
Well, they need to launch them already.
Didn't they already drop VE, man?
Well, they announced it.
They must have dropped it with it.
Not yet. No, it comes with the second airdrop. It's announced, but it's not being used. I think, at least. I haven't checked that in a long time.
So now what? Are we just longing every ETH? Is it ETH this year? Is it the year of Ethereum? Do you think there's going to be an ETH ETF this year?
Oh, that's a good question that I do not have an answer to.
I'm going to say yes. And price prediction for Ethereum for this year, I'm going to say like a solid 8K.
6. Oh, shit.
Solid
by the end of the year.
Yeah, solid 8K by the end of the year. Too many people on Solana are going to be left sidelined. They don't have enough Ethereum. I feel like a lot of people wake up every day and realize they don't have enough Ethereum.
I wake up most days and think that.
And what else? I think that's it. Fuck, I really wish I didn't have this hard stop. Anyways, I think that covers everything. It's going to be a good year. It's going to be a very, very good year. Oh, do you want to set some number goals for the podcast this year? I was talking to a friend of mine and he asked me that, and I didn't have any idea.
I guess we could. Should we do this live? Where are we at right now?
Yeah.
1354.
Well, we can do YouTube. I want to say we need 20K YouTube done, I think.
20K on YouTube? I think with the clips that's achievable. With the clips, that's definitely achievable now.
Shout out to our editor.
That changes everything.
Fucking
how many? You gotta give me the login for that. I want to start tracking the analytics.
We had 100% new viewers, like new viewers on that clip, and
that's crazy.
And none of them subscribed.
That's still a good start, though. It's a very good start.
Yeah, it's a good start.
We'll start showing up on their feed more.
Twitter, I mean, I honestly could care less. I think it's inevitable for us on Twitter. I don't want to set like a solid number, but
yeah, there's no point, really.
Sky's the limit there. I want some more TikTok guys in here, to be honest, though. It sounds really bad to say, but I think saving some of the TikTok lads from like being XRP demons and falling for dumb shit is gonna be good. I want like 50K on TikTok, 50, 100.
Jesus.
And then we'll be good.
I didn't even know we had a TikTok. Actually, that's all I did. I just have never checked it once.
All right. I think that does it. I gotta bounce.
Peace.
See ya. Oh shit! I almost didn't end the stream.